For more than 40 years, Dr. S.K. Rockwell dedicated herself to bettering the lives of patients and students throughout Lincoln, Nebraska in a career that spanned nursing, education, consulting, and training. Passionate about giving love to others, connecting with people, and helping those who need it, the impact she made through her work prior to retirement in 2003 is still felt today as she maintains extensive volunteer efforts. Born and raised in Nebraska, Dr. Rockwell paved her professional path from an early ambition to help people. She made the decision to pursue a career as a nurse because the job excited her. And so, with the help of her mother, Loretta, and one of her teachers, she applied to nursing school and ultimately got accepted to the University of Nebraska, Lincoln. In the midst of her studies there, she completed graduate coursework in nursing at Lincoln General Hospital, now known as Bryan Medical Center West, in 1960, and served as a floor nurse at the hospital and health center at the university before earning a Bachelor of Science in Nursing in 1962. At this point, a registered nurse in her state, she began her career at Lincoln General Hospital primarily as an instructor from 1962 to 1967, but also as its acting assistant director of nursing education from 1965 to 1966. Driven by a new passion in teaching, Dr. Rockwell continued her studies and obtained a Master of Arts in Adult and Continuing Education from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln in 1975. Upon acquiring the degree, however, she did not return to work as she wanted to stay and focus on her role as a stay-at-home mother, deciding that when her children were of a certain age, she would re-enter the workforce. She was in search of a part-time position that would allow her to make her own hours and provide her with the flexibility she needed to raise her children. By 1979, Dr. Rockwell was active as an evaluation technologist at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, a role she held until 1984, at which point she had earned a Doctor of Philosophy in Community and Human Resources and transitioned to her post as a professor within the university's Institute of Agriculture and Natural Resources. In addition to her professorial position, which she held until 1990, Dr. Rockwell served on the advisory board for the Department of Adult Education and Social Foundations from 1984 to 1986. She found much success as an evaluation specialist at the university from 1984 to 2003, and then as a professor in the Department of Agricultural Leadership, Education, and Communication from 1990 to 2003. Outside of her primary endeavors, she was active as a consultant and trainer for extension and program evaluation at the institution, a role she particularly enjoyed as it was a fun challenge to participate in monitoring and evaluation guidelines and teach others to be accountable for their outcomes. In the 1990s, she also became a pioneer and extensive researcher when it came to distance education, serving as a forerunner of this learning approach that is more relevant today than ever before. In fact, Dr. Rockwell received a grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture that allowed her to teach her course by distance across the country. Her classes were videotaped for her 240 students. Outside of the university, Dr. Rockwell has contributed as a board member for the Advocacy Office at the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, chairman of the Social Ministry Committee for the Nebraska Synod ELCA, and since 2002 has volunteered with the United States Agency for International Development. Over the course of her humanitarian efforts, she visited Africa, where she partnered with others to build a preschool and a library, which upon completion became an anchor for educating young children in the area. A devoted member of the American Evaluation Association since 1990, Dr. Rockwell has also been involved as a North Central Region representative of the Extension Topical Interest Group and the Adult and Continuing Education Association of Nebraska. She has accrued such accolades as the 2016 Humanitarian Award from Friendship Force International, the Wishart Award for Outstanding Community Service from the Emeriti and Retirees Association in 2020, and a Certificate of Achievement from Epsilon Sigma Phi in 1991. Upon reflection of her achievements over the course of her life, Dr. Rockwell considers being a mother and grandmother to be her most rewarding venture. With Lee, her husband of more than 55 years, she has 2 biological children and an adopted Black and Swedish daughter, 10 grandchildren, 1 that is Native American, and a great-grandson. She hopes to be remembered as someone who always cared about others and was dedicated to helping people reach their best potential, as opposed to worrying about monetary gain. In her spare time, she enjoys reading, playing bridge, and traveling.